I'm non-zero sum James, your companion on this exploration of win-win games. We know that Molochian systems are everywhere, from the baggage claim to the economy. It's a metaphor that helps us understand the pernicious nature of negative-sum games, when our rational, short-term individual decisions make a system that is detrimental to all, making us complicit in our own subjugation. But what about the foundational story? What should the original victims of Moloch do? Moloch's demise, solving the original problem. I mentioned in Who is Moloch that the Canaanites were acting rationally by offering the occasional child for sacrifice. But that's not entirely true. We can actually find an optimal strategy by thinking critically about the situation. Right now, we have a chronically bad situation, one that continues to be bad. It's not necessarily the worst, but it keeps being bad forever. So, if on one hand the tyrant can and will destroy literally everything, this is an absolutely bad outcome, a game over scenario. This is indeed worse than a chronically bad situation. But if there is a chance that some of the population can survive the consequences of refusing to submit, leading to the starvation of Moloch, then you are measuring a chronically bad situation with a finitely bad situation. And a situation that is finitely bad, as long as it is not absolutely bad, a game over scenario, is actually better than a chronically bad situation. I've made a silly graph of this on the site, so you'll have to go over there and check it out. As per usual, links in the description. So the optimal solution is to rebel and starve the tyrant. Ironically, in John Milton's Paradise Lost, this is the path for which Moloch advocates when addressing his wretched compatriots. Open war against God. Now, Satan famously stated, "Better to reign in hell than serve in heaven." Moloch goes one further, to propose, and I'm paraphrasing, that it's even better to risk death attempting to conquer heaven than to rule in hell. It goes something like this. What can be worse than to dwell here driven from our bliss, condemned in this abhorred deep to utter woe, where pain of unextinguishable fire must exercise us without hope of end, the vassals of his anger, when the scourge inexorably and the torturing... It goes on and on and on like this. So fighting back might actually be a better option. But this is not the only answer. When we look closer, a better solution becomes evident. The Bible portrays the Canaanites, Moloch's victims in this case, as a warlike, expansionist culture. An account we should approach with some skepticism, given that it also endorses genocide against the Canaanites. Nevertheless, for the sake of argument, let's accept the Canaanites' allegiance with Moloch is precisely to gain his support for their perpetual conquests, which is right up the belligerent Moloch's alley. So it is actually the desire for conflict and expansion that is driving this unhappy arrangement. Let go of that mandate, and they no longer need Moloch. Problem solved. In game theory, we are often given two alternatives. This solution, however, serves as a reminder that beyond theory, in the messy throes of real-life dilemmas, it's often crucial to seek out a third option, one that's beyond the established parameters. I hope you've learned through these episodes how understanding Moloch matters, because it explains why many systems, be they economic, political, or cultural, tend towards outcomes that no one individually desires. Negative-sum games are created by, and they create, perverse incentives. They erode trust and cooperation, and participants find themselves trapped, unable to work towards mutually beneficial solutions. We've explored some ways that we can escape this trap. In game theory, these situations are called coordination problems, where we have to work together all at the same time to achieve a solution. And that's what we're going to explore in the next episode, unlocking solutions.